Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Wednesday, the 7th of October. Starting off with Bacanora Lithium, where we've got shares breaking that February resistance at 35.5 and end-of-day close above that. Should get the shares on the way towards a end-of-month target for October up towards 55 pence, which is a December resistance line projection. This stage only really well back below 30 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. Always good to look at stocks which are private investor favourites and waiting for a decent move. Emerson is one of them, which has very nicely gapped up today through the initial October resistance and through the 4.5 pence level as well. The view here is that at least while we're above 4.5 pence and above that broken resistance line from the beginning of June, we should see further upside here, hopefully up towards the top of the rising trend channel from January at 7 pence plus, and hopefully that's seen over the next 4 to 6 weeks. At this stage, only really well back below the 200-day line at 4.2 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. Onto a stock which one shudders to look at from a bullish perspective, but the chart is at least making positive noises. French Connection. Here you can see that we've had the shares bumping along the bottom, I suppose either side of 5-6 pence since March. And if we get an end-of-day close today above the 50-day moving average at 6.4 pence, we could hit that March resistance line projection, and obviously July intraday resistance around the 15 pence mark. Looks obviously like a rather ambitious type of target there, but the chart has at least spiked up today in an encouraging way. On to a less famous name, and comes in the form of Invinity Energy, where we've had a nice breakout here. I suppose the key here is that we hold above the late September resistance at £1.28 on an end-of-day close basis. If we get that during the week, then we are looking at a setup which could deliver a target as high as £2.80, which is that April resistance line projection. At this stage, only really back below the 50-day line at 108 pence on an end-of-day close basis, really delaying the upside scenario for Invinity. Onto a stock which I know has some fans, and it's comes in the form of Nexus Global. Here we've had a sort of slow triangle break there of the September resistance line at the top of the triangle. We've got support above the 50-day moving average as well at 4.09, so above the 50-day line. Looking for the 200-day moving average at 7.17 pence. The big target here over the next couple of months, though, as high as 13 or 14 pence, which is that March resistance line projection. On to another stock which maybe seems rather counterintuitive in terms of the fundamentals, but MySale pushing through that old June resistance at 7 pence with a gap as well, so that's encouraging. And at least while we're above the 6.3 pence peak from August on an end-of-day close basis, looking towards the top of that February trend channel at 10 pence over the next month or so for MySale. A private investor favourite, I suppose, along with all the other farmers at the moment, N4 Farmer. Here we've got the shares pushing through that line of resistance from last month. Also got MACD buy signal as well, but that's not quite as important as the trend line break there around 6.5 pence level. While we hold above 6.5 pence on an end-of-day close basis, looking to fill the gap up towards the 9 pence area, which is where the shares were in the early part of September. Only really back below the 200-day line at 5.17, really delaying or cancelling, let's say, the latest attempt at a breakout. Couldn't resist looking at Omega Diagnostics again. Again, this is a stock with lots of fans. Here we broke the initial target here around £1. Well, it was 105 really was the that July resistance line target. We're above that, and above that on an end of day close basis, looking for a £1.40 target, which I think I mentioned before. So far today we hit 126, but obviously we've cooled off a bit since then. This stage only really back below 95 pence. The September peak there really delays the upside scenario and a possible push up towards £1.40, hopefully by the end of this month. Less well known, but still making an effort, is the next stock here, which is React Group. Here we've had a nice break of the I suppose the last August resistance there at 1.125 pence. So above that on an end of day close basis, looking for a push to the top of the rising April trend channel at 2.2 pence, hopefully by over the next 4 to 6 weeks or less for that particular situation. Stock which I covered a little while back and is now starting to revamp itself again is Sensine Health. Obviously there was a rather nasty dip for the shares back towards the 50-day moving average at the end of last month, but we come back well since then. An end of day close above September resistance at around the 86 pence level should be enough to take the shares up towards the top of the triangle there from March, as high as £1.30, and hopefully that happens over the next 4 to 6 weeks as well. This stage only really back below the 20-day line, 68 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. Another farmer, loved farmer, is Tiziana. Was covering this when it was around the 120s and 130s. It looked like there was just a sort of final clean out there, trying to get rid of the last weak hands. I think that day there on the 24th of September, a case in point, with a final retest of £1.20. But an end of day close today above the 50-day moving average today at £1.57 should be enough to get the shares going for a partial or even full retest of the late July resistance at £3. And even if we don't get that far up to £2 at August resistance, would be much appreciated, I'm sure, given where the shares are now. Finishing off with a stock which has been attacked by the bears on a consistent basis, but seems to be now fighting back. Veritech. It's also been a stock requested by multiple parties today as well, so that's quite good. Veritech, the support today around 9 pence, and an end of day close above that should be the start of a process which takes the shares at least up towards the 50-day moving average at 12.5 pence. The overall picture here, I suppose, if you are a fan of the shares, is that we're in a rising trend channel from back in May, and the top of the trend channel now, while we hold around the 8 to 9 pence area, could be as high as 20 pence. So let's see how that particular situation pans out. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.